Welcome back to the Keep Going podcast, Vin Kennedy. I'm your host, Vin Kennedy. Today, we have a very special guest. This is Evelyn. Evelyn, you want to do a brief intro on yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so my name's Evelyn. I'm 35 years old, or almost 35 years old. I live in Berks County, Pennsylvania, and I have a full-time job as a quality technician in the manufacturing industry. I work for a company that makes electrical control panels, which is pretty cool. Outside of that, I am a photographer and a little bit of a YouTuber, and I also really enjoy fitness, strength training, and running.
Yeah. And you're like a light. You really are. And that's like the best way to describe you. And we met through Project Endure and like community. And I kind of think that's like the perfect place to start off because I've seen, even Austin and Steadfast, like every community you're in, you make an impact. And you're just very involved. And it's so cool and refreshing to see because it's not like a competitive thing or you're just open to all and helpful to all. And it's like it really is the coolest thing. Like you warm my heart. It's crazy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, community is a big thing for me. I thrive on it, and I love to support anyone and everyone in any way that I can.
Yeah. I love that. And so what does community really like do for you?
It provides me with like-minded people that I can just support whatever they're doing, and I know that they're there to support me in whatever I'm doing. In my day-to-day life, I'm not really surrounded with the people who are doing what I'm doing, chasing the things that I'm chasing. So to have and to be a part of so many great communities, it really helps keep me going, keeps me inspired, keeps me motivated.
Yeah. And I know we've spoken about it off air. Obviously if you want to speak about it on air, like why do you think that you lean so heavy into community?
Yeah, so I know I did tell a little bit of my story on the Project Endure podcast not too long ago, but growing up, I didn't really have the support that I needed. I grew up in foster care. I did know who my parents were. I knew who my family was, but I grew up in a very strict environment, very strict home. My foster mom was very strict. Basically, I went to school, came home, did my homework, and that was pretty much it. I didn't do after school activities, no sports, anything like that. And it on top of that, it was very, she was emotionally and mentally abusive. So that really took a toll on me as a kid too. So to be able to find communities that are so supportive and uplifting, that just really helps me stay in a positive light, yeah. Kind of lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry, but yeah, community is just where I came from, community is like a big thing. So if I can provide and be a part of the support system for others that I never had, that's why it means so much to me.
Yeah. And I think like even that in itself is like just speaks to who you are, right? Because you have an option at that point where it's like you can kind of be uh, for lack of a better term, like almost bitter and like resentful towards others because of that and even community. But you choose to just like I said, be this light and it's awesome and inspiring.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm very I mean, I appreciate the person who stepped up and raised me when when my parents couldn't. So I am grateful to be raised by somebody. But yeah, I instead of letting that negative childhood experience like turn me into a bad person, I took that and realized like I don't want that to shape me to being a bad person. If I could provide that type of support that I never had to somebody else, like let's go. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you touched on something else, how like a lot of you didn't even get to kind of experience like after school activities and stuff like that. Would you say that's kind of why you lean so hard into training and different styles of training these days?
Yeah, I think so. Just the fact that I didn't get to do it when I was growing up. I was an overweight kid growing up as well. So when I found fitness and really started diving into it and finding out what I liked, and training that way and like saw the results not only physically but mentally, I kind of like leaned in and went full force. Like I've been working out consistently for I don't even know how many years now, maybe since like my early 20s. So yeah, it's been a long time.
And what would be some advice that you would give, I guess, a younger version of yourself or someone that's kind of like searching for that community? And if you need a little more for that question, I could definitely help you out.
Yeah, so just like so a younger version of myself or somebody in that similar situation is to yeah, find out what you enjoy doing, and odds are there's gonna be people that enjoy doing that same thing. So if you find what you like and find those people, like there's your community right there. And if nobody is doing the things that you like doing, start something on your own. Odds are there's other people that, might come out of the woodwork that say, hey, I like this kind of thing too, maybe like a book club or, a lot of people start run clubs to find other runners in their area. So yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah. No, it's great advice. It's the truth because that's like where you're authentic, right? Is like when you're doing the thing that you enjoy and like that you actually love.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because on a different but like same side of the coin, I was in a similar boat where it was like I did a lot of the things that like everyone else did. So like I had community, but it wasn't community that like meant a lot to me because I didn't know myself. And I think that comes with age and maturity and like really like trial and error of like testing things. But I think a lot of people are in your boat as far as like not having community at a younger age. And then same the other end, some people are in my boat where it's like you don't know who you are. So like you're just kind of like following the crowd and it's so easy to get swept up and personally for me that led to like drinking on the weekends, playing like gambling on sports, like the just like almost societal norms of like what we think is like should be the norm.
Yeah, and when you're young, you're right. You touched on something like very good there. Like you're still trying to figure out what you like and what you don't like and what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah, it's true. And it's also funny because it's like I'm still trying to figure it out, right? Like you never fully know. I think anybody that really thinks they know things for certain is always going to get blindsided by something. So you're almost better off being a little open to possibilities and change and growth.
Yeah, staying curious for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great place to pick up on. What would you consider like a superpower of yours?
Oh, wow. Superpower. I think it's my ability just to like lift people up and support them, right? I'm on social media on Instagram probably more than I should be, but whenever I see somebody, crushing a race or, a couple of people were racing Ironman today, even if it's just a quick DM like good luck or a congrats, like you crushed it, like I think that's my superpower, being able to provide that little spark of positivity, that light in somebody's day.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it's so funny because like you're right, like it goes such a long way. Like even just like the good luck or like checking in on someone after a race, like a lot of us that live in this world, like our families don't get it. Maybe the friends we grew up with don't get it. Maybe significant others don't get it. And it's to have people that do understand and like just know that like it is impactful. It just means a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Like somebody could be having a totally bad day and then just that one positive comment on, whatever they're posting or just that one text to check on in on them could change that whole day around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And how do you personally like overcome obstacles in your life?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, honestly, and I'm still working on it. There's days where I do let something get to me more than it should. But I think for me, what's helped is to kind of just take a step back and, evaluate the situation and see what I can do. Like, for example, this past weekend, from all the rain we've gotten here in the Northeast, the basement got wet, right? So my whole downstairs like home office and home gym is a little bit torn up right now to kind of dry everything out. And I was thinking, okay, it's not going to be able to get put back together fully in order for me to do my workout tomorrow morning. And then I kind of thought about it a little bit. I'm like, okay, what can I do to make it so I can have at least a little bit of space that I need in order to at least do something tomorrow morning. So I kind of moved some things around and I opened up enough space that come tomorrow morning, 3 a.m., I'll be able to get down in the gym and hit my push workout.
Yeah.
So just, taking a step back and looking at it from all angles and seeing what you can do rather than focusing on what you can't do. And honestly, like I said, it's still a work in progress for me. There's days where I just like can't figure it out and throw in the towel, and then, days like today where I was able to figure something out.
And something that I think like almost like piggybacks your superpower. It's like kind of a follow-up question to that one. It would be like, how do you compartmentalize and like if you're going through something, how do you kind of like keep it within you and still be that light for other people? Because I feel like that's something that you do well, really well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just realized, like, you know, uh, yeah, it's like nobody, like, what's going on with me has, like, nobody else can control that, I guess. Like, they're not, yeah, nobody else can control that, and what's going on with me shouldn't affect anybody else, like, in a negative way. So I need to deal with whatever's going on with me and kind of figure that out. But I shouldn't let the bad experiences, um, you know, impact how I interact day to day with other people, right? So my job, if I have a bad weekend or something, I can't go into work Monday and interact with the people that I do on a daily basis in a negative way, because then that's going to affect my work and things are just going to spiral from there. So I kind of lost sight of the original question, not letting what's impacting me come out into how I do everything else. But yeah, so I just try to keep in mind that um, the world is bigger than me, bigger than my problems, right? I still need to show up and be the best version of myself for others that I can be.
Yeah. That the world is bigger than me is like I want that tattooed on my body. Like it's so true and it's so easy to get caught up that it's not, right? And like that we are the center of the universe. And I wonder too if it's something that you learned growing up. Like obviously you were able to compartmentalize and now branch out and find community. And that's something that was lacking almost through childhood. So it's it's interesting.
Yeah, I growing up as a child, I did learn how to mask my emotions because I didn't really have anybody to turn to. Like I have a younger brother, and but we were both going through we grew up together, we're in the same foster home together, but we were both going through the same thing. So I didn't really have anybody else to turn to outside of that to really help deal with my emotions. So I learned to compartmentalize it so that way, when I was going to school, people didn't know, right? They didn't know what I was going through, and yeah, I guess that kind of just like, stuck with me throughout, like my adulthood.
Yeah. It's I've done the same thing. And it sounds like it could almost be like a superpower, but at the same time it could be like harmful, right? Because now you're just like kind of pushing down everything rather than dealing with things.
Yeah, so it definitely took a while to kind of figure out, like, okay, there's some stuff that, maybe not everybody needs to know. You don't have to like spew everything out, but there are some things that you should share with others so that way they know what you're going through and understand, if you're having a bad day, like why you're acting the way you're acting. And it does help to have friends that you can talk to and can bounce ideas off of, like if you're having a bad day, like, okay, how can you turn this mindset around?
Yeah. It's also so funny that we're having this conversation. Like a lot of this is like I wrote this out, the questions and topics to you were talked about weeks ago. And then I have like an Achilles flare up, and like even the end of TSP, which I know you're familiar with the speed project. I'm gonna do a solo episode explaining that, but the end of that, like I couldn't finish out the miles that I wanted to finish out. Like I had 52 during TSP, more than enough, but I wanted to do more, of course. But my Achilles just like wasn't having it, and like the younger version of me is going to break myself to finish that, but this version is like, hey, I want to do this for a really long time. It's just not worth it. But and I had to walk like I think I ran my last mile. We couldn't park the car because we were on like a major highway getting into Vegas. Not a major highway, major roadway. Um, and I had to walk like a 1K. And I just remember like I was just smiling and I was like, a younger version of you is probably like, I would have just like I wouldn't have actually smashed my phone on the ground, but I really would have wanted to. And no part of me like wanted to do anything like that. And I was like, look at the experience you just had. And it's just like, yeah, it's just mental like reframing that I think you do really well. And it's something that like I've definitely gotten way better with. But it's hard because moments are frustrating, but it's so like important. And I think what you said earlier like really hits on it. Like, you're not the main thing. This is a race with other people. You have teammates. Like, what is it worth like breaking yourself? God forbid I do something really bad. Now I got to go to like the hospital. Now I throw off the whole team. It's like it's not you're not that big.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, I hope your Achilles thing gets better.
Yeah.
I've seen you're riding a bike a lot, so that's good Ironman training right there.
Yeah, luckily I have that to turn to. So I've been telling people I'm just gonna become like a young Lance Armstrong and Michael Phelps in the water.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And then for you personally, like, what does fitness do for you?
Fitness fitness gives me confidence. So when I first started working out, I was, I don't know, like 19, 20 or something like that, and I was still trying to figure out who I was, still, you know, yeah, figuring out who I was, what I wanted to do, and not many people know this, but I was actually trying to go into the military, into the Navy. I had enlisted and went through MEPS, but got in the delayed entry program. So my ship date out to basic was delayed, and I had to get in shape because, like I said, as a kid, I was not in shape, and that carried on into early adulthood. So I had to get in shape for basic training, and so that's kind of where fitness started for me. Long story short, I never ended up going to basic, had some stuff happen, and they like released me. So after that, I started, continuously dabbling in fitness, trying to figure out what I like or what I liked. And just when I did find what I liked, the the confidence that I got from seeing myself get stronger, seeing my body composition change, that like lit me up. Like, and then that eventually transferred into the mental strength and the mental confidence. Yeah, so that's what fitness and now running. I just started running at the end of 2022, so still pretty new to it, but running on top of strength training has added like another like brick of that mental toughness, mental fortitude that is really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, running especially is just like you finish like a tough long run and it's just like or even like you run in the rain, it's just like what can I do is how you walk away after every run.
Yeah. Yeah, earlier this month, that I did, or while we're in April now, so early March, beginning of March, I did my 20-mile trail race, and that was just an absolute, like, crazy day. It was cold, it was raining, it was super muddy, but I had the most fun ever. Like I would go back and do it again next year in the same conditions, maybe a little bit of a warmer temperature so my hands didn't freeze, but yeah, it was so much fun.
And that's usually how it goes, right? Like it's your longest one, your hardest one is always gonna be like the hottest day ever, or like, snowstorms, like there's always craziness.
Yeah.
And what's some advice you would have to like kind of inspire and uplift others? Because I know as we said, like that's what you do. Like, what kind of advice do you give to other people?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. To just be yourself. Just do you. Find what you like. Find your people. Like right now, I'm going through a little bit of a thing. I don't know really what to call it. With social media, like I'm like kind of over. Like I don't want this to sound bad or like off-putting or anything, but I feel like social media right now is like all like the same like track on repeat. Like look at me, like I'm doing all this crazy stuff, like and to like an extreme. And I'm at like I'm trying to find and get back to what I really care about and what I want to post to go back to being the authentic version of myself. And not that I ever like lost myself in a way, but I'm going starting to go back to posting things that I want to post. Like I don't know if you look at my grid right now, like there's some running posts and then I throw in like a random post of some flowers that I took a photo of because that's what I like. Like I enjoy photography as much as I enjoy fitness, and I think my social media for a while got like fully fitness focused and didn't show enough of the other side of me. So I'm trying to get back to that. But yeah, to answer the original question is find what you like and stay true to that. Stay true to your values, what you believe in, and find the right people who are also doing the things that you want to do, have the same values that you do.
Yeah. And to touch on the social media thing, and I can only talk from like my personal experience, but what I found, and like if you go to my page, it is like an absolute debacle. Like it could be so much better in so many different ways. But if you go to my page, it's just me. Like you're gonna get a mortgage video, you're gonna get me talking on my podcast, you're gonna get fitness stuff because you know what you're getting? You're getting what I want to post. I don't
Right,
care. Like I really, really have gotten to a point where I feel so confident in who I am that like I just don't care. And it is so freeing and so fun. And like I've spoken to so many different people that are like, if you really prioritize just the fitness post, like you could blow up or whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care because we're gonna reach who we're supposed to reach anyway. And it's just like it's my social media. Like, I don't want it to become some like scheme to blow up for followers or whatever. It's like I rather interact with people like you on the daily, and that's the
yeah.
kind of stuff that fires me up. And to piggyback that, I'm also on social media entirely too much, but when I'm speaking with people like yourself, like like no one can tell me that that's not what I should be doing. Like you just
Right.
can't.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. So like social media, like for me, I use it more now for the connection aspect, right? To connect with people all around the world, all across the United States, different time zones, everything like that. And yeah, it's just an amazing, amazing tool. And to piggyback off your point, like I don't care anymore. Like I'm just gonna post what I want to post. Like, I'll go a week without posting something and then I'll throw up a couple quick posts a few days in a row. Like I haven't talked on my Instagram stories and I don't know how long, too long, but that's like I don't wanna, like, I don't care, like, I have a YouTube channel with, I think, like, 74 subscribers, like, I'm doing that as a hobby as well, like, I don't care about blowing up and making YouTube money, that's not my thing, I just wanna, if I feel like making a video that month, um, I'll make a video and I'll post it up for the people who are following me, so that way they can see it and
Yeah,
just see what I'm up to. Um
absolutely. And having confidence in yourself and just kind of like being yourself brings me to a question that we that I put on like the list is what are you afraid of? Because like obviously you have confidence in the things you know and who you are. But what is it that kind of like does shake you a little?
Yeah. Uh, this is a tough question. Um, I think what scares me the most is not being able to like leave not being able to leave an impact. Like I know that I'm capable of so much more than what I'm currently doing right now. So if I, leave this earth before I get the chance to share more of my story or to make a positive impact in somebody else's life, like somebody new, like that is what scares me, like not living up to my potential.
Yeah. I want to say you're definitely already making an impact, that's for sure. Like I could
Okay.
living proof. Um and then yeah, like and this question I guess for me too, like I always go to like I've dealt with like mental health in the past, and I know obviously we've spoken about some things too, and like I go to that where it's just like I never want to be like afraid to like live life again. Like I don't know if you know much about my story, but like personally, like when I was I think like a sophomore or freshman in high school, I had severe anxiety, and it was like all like stuff that I did to myself, and I didn't leave my room for like it's like almost like blurred. I talk about it often, but like I don't know if it was like 4 or 6 months, but to me it felt like forever. And like I literally did not leave my room except to go to doctor's appointments. And it was just like I think like being out during PSP and like running through Death Valley and like experiences and like living life now. I'm like people think I'm crazy and like I understand that like even some of it probably sounds and looks fake, but I'm like I took stuff away from myself. So like to really live now is like it's yeah, I think I just go back to like the mental health stuff of like never letting my mind control me is like honestly
Right.
what scares me.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah. I can resonate with that a little bit. Like I've done more stuff now in my like early to mid 30s than I did, when I was a kid or when I was a young adult. Like doing like being able to just like unlock the mind like you were saying and really realize what you want out of life and what you're capable of, just like it opens new doors and you're like, what else can I do,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Even just like growth itself too, right? Like lets you experience experiences different. Like for example, I went to the Grand Canyon with my family. We actually went on a trip. We went to Vegas and then Arizona and we stopped at the Grand Canyon. I was like 12 or 13. And I was like the most impatient, like annoying kid. So it was probably me that was like, we literally stepped outside the car. We looked at it for like 5 minutes and I was like, all right, I'm good to go. And then I ran through it with Dan. We ran through the Grand Canyon. I was like, this is like living. And like I almost like, and it's tough too. And this goes back to like the people that we surround, like that we're surrounded by, and obviously people have different experiences and want to like live life differently. But like I came back from TSP and like I want to like shake my whole family and be like, you have to like you don't need to go run, you don't need to like, but you have to go look at like these like things that are in our world and in nature. Like it's incredible, it's insane. Like
Yeah,
the sunrise that I saw at TSP was like it changed my whole life. Like I literally was like this moment like I'm not even understanding the magnitude while I'm in it, even though it's beautiful and I understand it. I came home and like I have like journaled about it like three separate occasions and like I haven't journaled specifically in a while. And I'm just like it's like it just was so gripping on me and it's so cool. And I know you feel that and that's why you love trail running.
yeah, yeah, it's amazing. And like last year, last summer, my boyfriend and I, we took a vacation down to Cape May, New Jersey. Like it's our favorite place to go. I love the beach, I love the ocean, and while I was there, I was able to cross a bucket list item, an item off my bucket list. Like I got in two sunrise runs while I was down there, and just like along the beach, like just running through the town, before anybody else was awake, and it was just to be able to like hear the ocean and then hear your footsteps pounding the pavement. It was just amazing. And yeah, it was an experience that I was glad I was able to get to in. but it was unforgettable. It was so beautiful, and yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's funny too, because like me personally, like I don't like hiking, which is so funny because like I seem like I would like love nature and be like this granola dude, and like I'm really not. But there's something about running, it's just different. But yeah, it was just it was so gripping. It was cool, and it's funny that you experienced like the same thing down in Cape May.
Yeah.
And the last question that I ask everybody is, what keeps you going? Like, what's your deep why?
Yeah, so first off, my faith keeps me going, my faith in God, knowing that there is a plan for me. I might not know what the plan is, but there is a plan for me. Um, and then after that, it's just the younger the younger version of myself. So knowing how I used to be, mentally, physically, and what I'm doing now, what I'm capable of now, is like being able to do things that would make that younger version of me go like, "Holy cow, like we're amazing." And then just I want to be inspirational to other people. I want to be someone to people that I never had in my life, right? So I want to be their support system, cheering them on, supporting them any way that I can. Those are like my big 3 big whys, are what keeps me going.
I love it. I honestly, I really, really appreciate the time and the conversation as always.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure to be on, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.